Well, that was fun. Yeah, 2020, right? Here we have it. Let me get you what you need so you can call it a wrap.
We'll take our first question from Keith Sargent, NJ.com.
Greg, we saw you tearing up after the game. You seem pretty emotional now. What was going through your mind after you won that game?
Well, I was so, when we started this week, this was a really fatigued team. And I don't just mean physically fatigued, although they are 7 weeks straight, but emotionally, not seeing their families, and like our whole country is experiencing right now as things get worse and worse. There's fear. And we actually had 3 of our players lose loved ones this week. 2 of them to COVID. 2 of the players. So it's been a tough week for all these kids, and they really came out and they did exactly what we asked them to do. Just keep fighting. I can't tell you how this is going to go. My hat's off to Maryland. I mean, what an incredible job they did, with all those people out, coaches out, players out, and that happened late in the week, so it's not like you had time to plan for it. So my hat's off to them. They did a really good job. But I'm proud of our guys. They just they believe in each other. They play for each other. They love each other, and they that's what fuels their passion to play for each other. So that's probably what it was.
Chris Eisner with Gannett.
Greg, how is Noah? And what did you think about the way that Art came in there and kind of helped to get things going and obviously do what you guys needed from him today?
Well, Noah, obviously he couldn't return, so I don't know. You never know what it's going to be like in a day. But I was really, I was proud of Art, the way he came in. And he did really a good job. He ran the offense. He threw the ball well. He ran the ball well. So he led us to victory. So when you're the quarterback who does that in an overtime game to get us to overtime and then to win the game, it's a really good job. All his teammates helped him, obviously. That's all we kept saying, this week. It was going to take every single guy on this trip for us to be able to win the game. And, when you look at Joe Lasardi, a freshman walk-on, is out there playing safety and did a heck of a job, at the end. I mean, that to me is what you call, a family, just guys sucking it up for each other. So I'm really proud of them.
We're going to go to Steve Politti, NJ.com.
Hey, Greg, from afar at least, it seemed like there were some dirty or certainly borderline plays by Maryland in that game. I'm just curious if you were concerned with some of those hits, especially the one on Vedral that knocked him out.
Yeah, when you're down there, it's a war zone. I don't know, but I was just so proud of the way our guys just kept swinging. They refused to let anything. I mean, there was times I don't know if I've ever been out on the field as many times as I was today with kids that were down, but they'd go down, they'd come back. The trainers tell me where we are. Hey, he's this, he's that, and then all of a sudden he's back playing, and he being several guys. So I'm just really proud of our guys that they fought through a lot of things today. And this whole week has been, I think, ends up being a really good life lesson for our entire football team.
I'm going to go to Bobby Darren, 24/7.
Greg, you had Valentino kick those 2 field goals after missing the short one. Just talk about the confidence in him. It's kind of a unique story where he came from with the soccer stuff, and just what you were telling him after he missed that kick, too.
Well, he is a very talented kicker. You're right. He's got a very explosive leg. He and I have a unique relationship. We tell it like it is. So, when he missed the first one, I told him why I thought he missed it, but he short corrected it. And, they were all 3 good hits, just the one kind of pulled on him. But I'm really proud of him too, right? I mean, here's a guy that during COVID calls me and wants to, I don't know, it was May or whatever it was during the quarantine, he calls me and wants to come out for the team. I said, sure, you can come out for the team as long as your soccer coach is okay with it. And we checked with the coach, and he was okay with it. So little did I know he'd be our starting kicker and our place kicker. So it's, like you said, Bobby, it's a good story.
We're going to go to Chris Nowalski with Rivals.
Hey, Coach, kind of sticking with Valentino, with the kicking late in the fourth quarter, how tough was that with time running down and the whole operation had to get out there and make the kick too?
Well, we practiced that, right? We wanted to make sure that not only did we get the kickoff, but we didn't want to leave them any time. We didn't want to have to kick the ball off. We didn't want to have to deal with all that. So I thought the entire unit did a very good job. We ran out there. We let the clock go down to where we tell them, and then we snapped the ball, and they kicked it. Now, we practiced that a lot, so, every week. So I'm glad they executed it. We certainly needed it.
We'll take a couple more questions. Next one, James Cratch, NJ.com.
Greg, I know you mentioned a couple of players lost loved ones. I mean, is there any more you can tell us about that? And I guess, what was your message to them and to the team as a whole? It sounds like it was a pretty grueling week. Yeah,
I'm not comfortable. That's their business, Cratch, and I hope you can appreciate that. But, as a head coach in college, you're a father to a lot of kids, and parents entrust you with their sons. And a lot of these guys, most of them I didn't recruit, and I've done my best to get to know their parents. But that's not easy either, right? So, but as a head coach, that's something that I see as my responsibility. And when kids are hurting, just like my own kids, when your kids are hurting, you need to be there. You need to help them through it. I think our staff does a really good job of that. So, that's what a family's about. Just like your own families, that's what we do, right? You're there to hold each other up, and it was in every way possible we needed each other this week. It was one of those tremendous efforts that was more than just a 3.5-hour football game. Now we're going to have to find a way to kind of regroup here, because we got another one left. And, I'm not even going to worry about that right now. I'm going to get on this bus and fall asleep because I'm shot. And then we'll get on it. When I get back to Piscataway, we'll start thinking about how we get ready for the next one.
Richie Schneiderite with Rivals.
Coach, going into the game, you had a couple players out with injury, and then during today, there was even a couple guys that fell and came back in. Would you say that that's just a matter of fatigue through 8 games in 8 weeks, or there's another reason behind it?
No, I think we're fortunate to be where we are after 8 straight weeks in the Big Ten Conference. I tip my hat to Coach Butler and his staff, and to Dave McCune and their staff and our doctors. They've done an incredible job getting them prepared for this, and then keeping them going throughout the season. You got to imagine, I was 100 and whatever it is, 23 guys on a roster, and every single guy, you see the 74 that traveled, but there's a whole bunch of others that practice every day and have ailments as well. It's a physical game, not only on game day, but in practice. So I'm really, like I said, I'm really proud of our guys. I'm proud of our guys back home that didn't get to travel, that they got us ready for this game. I told them that before we left Friday. So I really, really, during that game, I was so hopeful that we could win it, because I just felt like our guys deserved. I mean, who knows if we deserved to win the game? I haven't even looked at the stats, but I just felt what they've been through this week. I was hoping that they could win the game. So I'm really happy for them.
I'm going to take 2 final questions, Steve Politi and James Cratch.
And Greg, just along those lines, the big picture fact that you've been able to, keep COVID from really impacting the team overall. I mean, the game wasn't played. Indiana-Purdue wasn't played. Maryland was missing several players. I mean, how difficult has that been? And is that one of the keys to this team's success?
It's been really difficult, Steve. Our kids have made tremendous sacrifices, and our players' families have made tremendous sacrifices. I tip my hat to our parents, because certainly they want to see their kids. And, a lot of, like, after our home games, when I'm done talking to the team, they go back down the tunnel, and then they visit with their parents, and their parents are up in the stands, and they're down behind bike racks talking to them, so they don't get, that willingness to do that, and the parents' willingness, and when I've done several Zoom calls or whatever you call them with the parents, and they're right behind it. They're so good. They're like, hey, coach, we understand. We want our kids to have this opportunity. We got you, and they've really been extremely cooperative. And look, as I've said many times, we've had our troubles, right? In the summer, we really had our issues, but these guys made a decision to sacrifice for one another, and that's the lesson, right? That's the lesson. It's that when you do something for other people, when you put them in front of yourself, what can happen. So, as I said, I don't want to wear it out, but I am proud of them.
Final question to James Cratch.
Greg, how important was it for you guys to get Isaiah going again? It's been a couple of quiet weeks for him, and it seemed like he was effective in the pass game and the run game.
Yeah, Isaiah is such a physical player that when we don't get him going, like you said, we lose out on a very physical guy, and there's a lot of reasons for that, right? And some of them are us, some of them are him. But like you mentioned, I'm really glad that he got to get rolling a little bit today. And he's the kind of back that punishes defenses. Most backs get punished. He punishes defenses. He runs like a linebacker. That last one down in overtime, I thought it was a horse collar. So I was just talking to him, making sure he was okay because he was down on the sideline. Next thing I know, I see him marching the ball off. I said, what in the heck? And I argued. I didn't even see the play, so I shouldn't have argued. But I just saw that him get yanked down. So I said, that's a horse collar. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm just happy that we had a couple more points than them.
Thanks for the time, Coach.
Thank you, fellas.